want to show you how to get FEMA funding for COVID-19 response in your community. This series of videos, podcasts, and blogs provides federal grant management training to everyone. In this episode, we will examine the FEMA PAPPG, the FEMA Public Assistance Program Policy Guide, also called PAPPG, and we're going to focus on the Category B grant. Cat B is how FEMA provides funding for emergency protective measures. My name is Christina Moore. My team at Storm Petrol and I have responded to natural disasters since 2012. We are experts in FEMA grant management and guiding organizations to rebuild better. Our team and our tools have helped people across this nation. Our team shows people how to manage disaster relief grants, people just like you. We are providing these materials to you, hoping that you can help your community and your organization survive this disaster and wisely execute the mission before you. If you appreciate this presentation, please share it. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell. In the spring of 2020, the United States federal government started issuing disaster declarations related to the COVID-19 emergency. These disaster declarations trigger actions and funding through the Robert T. Stafford Act of 1988. The disaster funds, so far, have been authorized for emergency protective measures, also called Category B. This is a FEMA grant of money to execute on missions and projects to help us all survive this crisis. In this episode, I will define Cat B and emergency protective measures. I will draw a figurative box around these definitions. And unlike some of my other presentations, I will draw directly from and quote from FEMA literature. This matters to you in the same way that the rules of a board game matter. FEMA's definitions, rules, and policy level the playing field and give both you and FEMA guidance. In the game of FEMA Quest, the party who knows the rules better wins points. Let's put Category B in context. FEMA has defined a series of categories of work and lettered them A through G plus Z. Categories A and B are emergency work, meaning that this is done before, during, or immediately following a disaster. Categories C through G address permanent work. Permanent work are normally larger capital projects that rebuild public infrastructure such as buildings, bridges, roads, water control facilities. So what's a Category A? Category A relates to the removal of debris. And Z? Category Z is an undocumented category that is used by states to recover grant administrative costs. So that's categories A through Z. When dealing with federal programs, there is always a necessary discussion of the predicating laws. First, this grant program is authorized by Congress in the Robert T. Stafford Act. This is presented on page 1, as it should be. I'm looking at the FEMA Public Assistance Program and Policy Guide, the PAPPG. You can download this PDF from our links or from FEMA, same document. You'll want the 2018 version, the April 2018 version, or later. I like having the current and the most previous versions. Other relevant laws are 44.2 CFR 200 and 2 CFR 200. Often, if you see a phrase in the PAPPG, it is lifted literally from the underlying law. You won't know this unless you look. You do not need to know this on day one. In time, these obscurities become a power-up weapon on your belt. That's later. Is you is or is you ain't my baby? Wonder if you are eligible for FEMA funding? In the next episode, we'll show you how. I have a memory aid for the 3 pillars of emergency protective measures. They are completely wrong, but I enjoy saying it. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Those certainly are the 3 pillars of the Declaration of Independence, and they do relate. The 3 pillars for emergency protective measures are preservation of life, protection of public health, and protection of improved property that's threatened by the disaster. It is really about the core values of a community, things that count: emergency operation centers, medical care, transportation, security, searching to locate and recover human remains. The COVID-19 disaster is a difficult world for FEMA and most emergency managers to wrap their heads around. Here in New England, we know how to recover from flooding and wind damage. It's very difficult for us to get a disaster declared following a blizzard. We're pretty good at that sort of stuff. A global and nationwide public health emergency is unknown to us. The list that FEMA offers in the publication available as of April 2020 is not intended to be the entirety of it. Top of page 38 of my book states, this list is not all-inclusive. Why does this matter to you? You and your organization may have done something that stands proudly on top of one of these 3 pillars, but it's not obvious. It'll be on you to create the link and on you to prove it to FEMA. Be fair, be honest. We're all in this together. Some school districts are using a commercial bus service to deliver food to students at home. That's not on the list. Obviously, I can't be the authority. I'm not the authority, but I'll argue that it is eligible. It's protecting public health. By providing free breakfast and lunches to students, we are preserving their lives and health. By using door-to-door delivery, we are maintaining the necessary public distancing and following the well-known public health guidelines. We are using resources through an existing contracted service, the local bus company, that already likely met the procurement rules. This is the kind of thinking that will be required. You'll need to demonstrate in writing with affirmative links to the policy why paying someone to drive the bookmobile down dirt roads in rural Vermont was a necessary and cost-effective means of preserving public health. It'll be your job to make the link, so go read the policy and think through it. Governors and FEMA executives will provide more guidance to us all in time. When you hear it, verify it. Some information will be wrong. For example, if a commercial for-profit entity declares they are eligible to directly receive FEMA funding because they did work that stands on one of these 3 pillars, they're not going to get the funding. It is the wrong program, wrong process. The rules matter. We are providing you a copy of the FEMA policy book. Please download it and have it available for your reference. Click the links below to download this PDF book. These materials are always available at our website, including the transcripts and illustrations. Cat B costs tend to involve labor and equipment costs for responding organizations. In FEMA lingo, this is force account labor, force account equipment, and force account material. This is you mobilizing your forces on behalf of a federally funded mission. We have several episodes that discuss labor costs and fringe rate calculations and the reporting of these costs. The nature of this particular disaster may involve procurement. Be aware that you must follow federal procurement guidelines. There will be a lot said in the early days about exigent circumstances and emergency procurement. Typically, that guidance limits this to a 72-hour period or 3 days. Please, please, please do all the procurement you can using public, fair, open, competitive processes. People will push the limits of emergency procurement and abuse it quickly. FEMA will then start disallowing these purchases faster than you can spell procurement. It's a sucker's bet. Stepping through the competitive process will benefit you in the long term. Just because we are in an emergency does not automatically justify emergency procurement. Do I need to say that again? This is an emergency. Yes, that is not sufficient to justify exigent procurement processes. If you do opt for emergency justification, document the heck out of it. Write down the justification, pass a motion, do it in public. Don't give that money to your cousin or your uncle. That's a quick trip to the bad place. Here's the best test. Are you able to get 3 quotes? Can you get information to a number of suppliers about the products or services you need? If you can, do a competitive procurement. The 3 pillars of emergency protective measures are 1. Reduction or elimination to the threat of life. 2. Protection of public health and safety. And 3. Protection of improved property that is threatened by this disaster. Link your activities to one of these 3 pillars. Use detailed logs to track time and miles. Then report this work honestly and completely as needed in the grant life cycle. Along the way, follow the federal procurement guidelines and do competitive procurement. It'll keep you and your funds safe. Did you find this helpful? Do you have questions? Let me know in the comments below. Give a thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified of upcoming events. There is a link for the PAPPG.